Oh, hello, and welcome to the flip side of adversity. I am Dr. Veirdre Jackson, the CEO and creative behind Living Strong Consulting, and I am so excited to continue this conversation around understanding how we can speak up, stand out, live out loud, and win fearlessly. And so when I am in a space where I can empower, encourage, and ignite the power in women, I am in my happy place. And so this month, there is so much going on, but I want to tell you about an amazing opportunity. If you don't follow me on any of the social media platforms, then you're not in the know. We are, of course, it is October. We are celebrating breast cancer awareness. And I have the privilege of being selected as one of the competitors in Fab Over 40. Now, if you have not gone to my page and given me a vote yet, what you waiting for? It is an opportunity to support the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And if I win, it is going to fund and support the Women's Empowerment Initiative that I've been running and supporting for 2 years, and we're in year 3. And the grand prize will allow me to fully fund year 3 so that none of the participants have to pay for anything, but we can have access to all of the amazing speakers, the opportunities, the resources, the locations. It has been a powerful experience, and I want to be able to continue it. So I'm asking you, will you give me your vote? It is Fab Over 40. You can go to any of my social media pages, find the link, click it, and give me a vote and raise awareness around breast cancer research. So can we partner with that? Thank you so much. So now let's get into the meat of tonight. I know you often have wondered, like, how do I start a business? I have a dream, but I don't know how to get started. Or you have had a business for a while and you're wondering, like, why can't I quite get things in motion? Do I have everything in place for my business to be fundable? And there might be someone who you don't have a business, but you know that you have a purpose. And there's something that is holding you back. Fear has had you hiding, and it is time to come out of hiding. If any of those and more are questions that you are asking yourself and you're wondering, well, we have the conversation for you. Let's start figuring out and getting strategies for fearlessly winning. Stay tuned. We are going to get started with this conversation. Trauma, toxic stress, broken habit, and hurting heart don't define destiny, but peace isn't passive. It requires an exchange. To create a flip and access peace in the middle of the pieces, you are challenged to make an exchange of the lies that have kept you mentally hostage in basement moments. Resilience isn't about bouncing back, but bouncing forward. Living Strong, the flip side of adversity, brings powerful stories and fearless conversations from experts in the field of business, relationships, emotional, physical, and mental health, and faith-based communities. Each episode creates a brave space with powerful tools from authentic connections. Tune in as we dig in with Dr. Jackson on the flip side of adversity. Hello and welcome. So let's get into this conversation. I'm so excited that we have with us Inga Nykole. She is a serial entrepreneur. She has multiple businesses. She has a tax accounting business, real estate investor. She specializes in Airbnb, foreclosures, and bank owned homes. Inga has managed over $100 million in assets for various clients, whether they are individuals, celebrities, professional athletes, small and home based businesses. She is passionate as an author and inspirational speaker. She empowers women to overcome crippling effects of mental, physical, and emotional abuse by her Boss Up Their Bag program and book. Her books, I Am Not My Invisible Abuse and Wake the F Up, are the perfect combination to boss up your faith, family, and finances, moving past fear and frustration into the direction of your dreams. Inga Nykole, welcome to the flip side.
Thank you so much, Dr. Veirdre, for having me. Listen, I'm loving the name The Flip Side. We could go so many ways with that tonight. I'm so interested in this conversation. I've been waiting for all week to get into this. Let me tell you, of course, like you said, my name is Inga Nykole. I'm excited to be with you here tonight. I've been promoting something. It's more than entrepreneurship. So first of all, let me tell you that I help brand new entrepreneurs, especially start, grow, and fund their business. My goal is in 90 days or less. It's up to you to take the strategy and run with it, but it's absolutely possible. But being here tonight talking about fearlessly winning as an entrepreneur, I've been talking about it all year. It's so much more than just business. It is about who you are as a person, where you're willing to go, and the challenges that you're willing to overcome. And so I thank you so much for having me tonight, and let's get it going.
Yes, so let's jump right into it because I am curious about this phrase, boss up their bag. So you identify yourself as you just shared as someone who empowers women. What does that phrase actually mean? And how can a woman who has a dream, who aspires to actually walk in purpose, how can she begin to actually take control of her finances and live out that dream in a business?
Listen, so first of all, boss up your bag. Everybody hears that boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. The term boss woman, boss babe. Everything is they say being a baddie, but being a boss in charge of something. And who doesn't want to be in charge of something? I learned long ago that you give somebody a title and they turn into a completely different person. And so boss up your bag. Really for us, it was about taking control of your finances, taking control of the things that you want to do in your life and adding to it instead of dragging yourself down, dragging yourself through. A lot of us have been through so much in our life, but to boss up, it means something to give yourself that power. And I'm talking about not just power over finances, but power over your life, power over your decisions, power over the direction that you want to go. And the biggest boss up your bag truly for me means creating the life that you want to live and participating in it. Because so many of us, we build a life. Have you ever seen where someone they work to become incredible or to become maybe famous or just to have we'll say the upper echelons of life. But when they get there, the life that they thought they created, they want nothing to do with it. I don't want to see people create a life, work so hard, and when they're there, they'd rather die than stay alive. Right. And
Yeah.
so Boss Up Your Bag was really about taking control of who you are as a person, as a woman, as a man, and just creating the life that you want to live and living in that.
It sounds like there is the passion of, yes, live out your dream, but absolutely have harmony so that when you actually have it in your hand, you still like who you are and the environment and the space that you've created so that you're not out of balance, overworked, dysregulated, all of those
That's
things.
right.
So I'm
That's right.
curious, as a serialpreneur, how
Literally.
literally,
Yes.
how did you get to the space of being a serialpreneur, and what initially drew you into particular components? Because you have tax accountant, you have real estate investment, you have author. Tell us, how did you move from one to multiple?
Mhm. Yeah. Let me tell you, the multiple is where that's where the pause has to happen. So I learned it. I like to say that's how I learned it. Like
Mm-hmm.
with improper English, that's how I learned it. I grew up as an entrepreneur. My parents, you're from Philadelphia, so you may remember, and anybody, all that, shout out to Philadelphia, okay?
I know that's
So
right.
if you if you remember back in the, we're gonna say 90s, maybe early 90s,
Mm-hmm.
late 80s, my uncles were entrepreneurs in the gallery in Philadelphia. The gallery is like a strip
Mm-hmm.
mall in the city, and it was called Trends 2. It was urban fashion, the Leather and Fur Ranch. I don't know, some of them might be, I'm taking y'all way back. But these were stores like the very first urban retail stores in the history of Philadelphia. And I just happened to be blessed to be in the family of entrepreneurs. My uncle, all of my mother's brothers, my aunties, it was a family business and everybody worked there. And I remember I had an aunt who was in New York. I'm from Sharon Hill, Pennsylvania. I didn't say that. Shout out to Sharon Hill, Pennsylvania. But I my aunt worked in New York and she was the vice president of the National Urban League. And she was running this program called the Black Executive Exchange Program. And again, I learned it this way. I remember having to wake up very early because if you were up early, the early bird gets the worm back in the day, right? So if you were up early, you were able to go to work and make money and buy bubble gum and sneakers, right? And so I would wake up very early, and I would go be dressed to do anything. And at the time I was very young, all I could do was check bags in the store, wave to customers, maybe sell t-shirts outside of Ninth and Market Street. This is all Philadelphia. And so being an entrepreneur was in my spirit, in my heart. It's the only thing I had ever really seen. And I remember going to college because I just thought it was the right thing to do. I had become a single mom. And the only way out at the time was I had to make the disappointment, and all to all the single moms, you understand. I was a young, I'm talking 15-year-old single mom. And I remember knowing wanting to redeem myself. And so that's what
Mm-hmm.
college was for me. So I went to college knowing that I was an entrepreneur. But it wasn't until after college I came maybe for the city of Philadelphia, and I'll wrap it up for you, not for the city of Wilmington, Delaware. And I remember being in that office, and this is a testament of all the serialpreneurs are going to connect with this statement right here. I remember being in my office, amazing opportunity as a brand new out of college person. And I was creating a life that I didn't want to live. I was
Mm-hmm.
looking at a chart on the wall because I was in charge of payroll. And I remember seeing a chart that I could only go from this position to here. Even if I was the mayor of Wilmington, I would never make any money to me. And so that chart was deafening me.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted so badly to do something different. And the only thing I could see was being an entrepreneur. And luck or the odds or God would have it, I met someone that was in a nightclub space, very lucrative business for a young person and seeing money that fast. And I never turned back. Once I got a taste of real money in entrepreneur space, I can never turn back.
Yeah. When you talk about real money, because I feel that moment, I think that was also a moment for me as well when I was in a leadership role, leading several people in charge of much. But I knew that there was, if I stayed in this, there's a cap to
Hmm.
the amount of income I'm going to make. And I'm actually making more money for the business of someone else that
Hmm.
I could begin to make for myself. And I feel like that too was a
Yeah.
moment that it's very like, very similar.
Hmm.
But I think something that oftentimes has people afraid of stepping out and building that life that they really want is funding. And I
Yeah.
know you are
Yeah.
an expert at that. So, can you give us some nuggets
Yeah.
around?
Hmm.
So, what does it take to actually begin to fund a business?
It takes a lot. It takes a lot. So I would like, this is a moment where I want to interject. I want to
Mm-hmm.
interject because social media, I want you all to take I'm talking about a hard stop from what you see on social media. Because right now, and most of us, I would say, are in the world of that. Right now, you'll see everyone in the world has a master class. They're teaching something. It's just a sign of the time that business is changing and life is becoming digital. It's automated. It's AI driven, right? Chat
Mm-hmm.
GPT. And so you'll see posts that tell you that all you need is an EIN number and you can get funded. All you need is the business license and you're going to make money. All you have to do is sign this digital product and you'll be a millionaire. And that is not the way to go. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
could see what real work looks like, the 30 seconds of polish, I'm going to call it, that
Mm-hmm.
we see on social media or that even a commercial, forget social media, but let's take it back in the day. Even that 30 seconds of whatever they're selling, that dream that they're giving to you, getting funded takes so much more than those 30 seconds. I'm talking about a lifetime to get there. But some of the most important things is going to be your structure in your business. Like, are you incorporated? Are you a sole proprietor? Because you can be funded, you can get grants. So we're going to talk a little bit more about grant money. You can get grant money, free grant money as an entrepreneur, as a nonprofit business, as an LLC or a corporation. You can be funded, but you're going to have the basics and just a few of the basics: an EIN number, an LLC, maybe an incorporation. You have to have your business license. And then you have to begin to set up your structure for your small business credit because we have personal credit and then you have small business credit. And one of the most important things is that personal credit is a big drive towards your business credit because someone has to guarantee that the money's going to get, that the bank is going to get their money back. And here's what I want to tell you: funding, because a lot of people don't know, grant funding is free. If someone gives you a grant, it's a gift. They have granted you access. You never, ever, 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 ever have to pay that money back. If they want to know what are you going to do with the money and how are you going to impact the people, how are you going to help your community with the money I give you? If someone gives you a loan, they want to see all of your credentials and they want to know how are you going to pay me back? What are you going to do for business and how long, how soon will you be giving my money back? But the structure is going to be is the most important part probably of getting yourself funded for your business. And then of course, business plans and all the other things that we can get into. But the structure definitely is the way to go. Then of course, adding in that business credit to get you funded.
I love you taking people to structure first because sometimes, especially in the culture, the Insta culture, it's like I
Mhm.
they're so focused on making the money,
Mhm.
doing the thing that we miss the importance of the infrastructure to make sure that you
Okay.
actually even
Okay.
qualify. And so
Mhm.
Esther asked the question in the
Okay.
chat: how do you actually establish small business credit?
Okay. So first of all, Esther, we're going to send you to class, guys. Can I give out a website?
Yes, you
I
can.
want you to go to this website. This website is called Boss Up Your Bag, www.bossupyourbag.com. This is a masterclass that we created, my partner Jen and I. We created for new entrepreneurs, existing entrepreneurs, growing entrepreneurs to start, grow, and fund your business because all of us are in a different place at a different time. And so the way that you establish your business credit is through so many factors. But one of the most important ways, the easiest way I could tell you, if you are a business owner, is you want to go to a website called Dun and Bradstreet. You could Google it. Dun and Bradstreet is that identifier of your business. Some of you may be here today and you may have said that. Well, I've established my business credit and I go to apply for something and they say, I can't find you. And I have all my credentials. It isn't that they can't find you, it's that you have not created your business profile. And Dun& Bradstreet is a surefire way to get you set up. But that's just the beginning. I got a Dunn's number, but I still can't get funded. Dun& Bradstreet has to get some skin in the game for your business. And through our company, and through that Boss Up Your Bag, this is a way that we will help you establish what to do once you have that Dun& Bradstreet number. One of the things I do find, Veirdre, Dr. Veirdre, is that there's lots of business owners that are seemingly ready. You've got pieces of the complete puzzle. I have and if you, once we're done, I definitely will share with the viewers. I have this, are you ready for business questionnaire? And the question it asked them maybe over 25 different ways for you to be funded. You have your business credit, but do you have a business phone number? You have a EIN and an LLC, but do you have a business address? Do you have a dedicated phone line? Do you have a business bank account, right? But a lot of us will go for funding and think that we're setting up credit and we're missing. We have all the pieces, but we're missing so many pieces. And working with a professional like myself is going to help you tie all those pieces together so that when you come with us or work with Inga, Nykole, or Jen, we're going to make sure that you got a complete package. We're sending you to the bank funding proof. We're going to call it bulletproof for you to be funded because your package is undeniable.
And let's just throw out how they can actually access those 25 questions. Is that also on the site where bossupyourbag.com is?
Yep. So when you go to bossupyourbag.com, I say yes. But what's going to happen is you're going to go into it's called the CRM, it's our portal. And guess what, guys? Part of business right now is automation, and that CRM is so important. So I don't have it on there, but if you go to this website and share your information, I'm going to know that you came in tonight because it's going to be date stamped, right? This is what automation is all about. And then I'm going to send you that questionnaire so that you know if your business is bossed up and ready. It's our bossed up business questionnaire.
Well, you've already gotten your first assignment, everyone. If you've been
Yes.
sitting in a stalled place, if you've been feeling like you're stuck, if you have questions and fear by itself is holding you back, there are no excuses anymore. Bossupyourbag.com is your first step. And Esther says, awesome. All right, Esther.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Hello, Chippo. Hello, Donna.
Hi, Chippo.
Welcome to the
Hey,
conversation.
guys.
So, when you begin to build businesses, you've gotten the correct infrastructure for the first one. And I believe that once you get the infrastructure, you can then begin to replicate that along the way with others. How would you say, what is your secret to actually remaining balanced with so many things that are happening and being built by your own hands?
I'm going to let you in on the secret. I don't. Let me tell you, this is true. Do you know, first of all, a woman, if you got a woman that's balanced, take me off the show, Dr. Veirdre, and get her on here. She needs to teach us. But I believe in something called the Wheel of Life, some things that I studied along the way. And here's what the Wheel of Life is all about. The Wheel of Life consists of 5 spokes. So imagine that you're riding a bicycle. And when you're riding a bicycle, you're riding along life and everything's going good and you lose a spoke or you catch a flat tire. That wheel is going to be kind of wobbly. And what I say about balance, and I say it all the time, is if we expect life to be balanced, and this is just me from my life experience, if we expect life to be balanced, we might be shooting up the wrong road, right? We're maybe riding our bike up the wrong road. The wheel of life is this. It is your health, right? It is your financial acumen, we'll say. Let's just call it your faith, your health, your faith, your finances, your family, and one more. What is it? I'll come back to the last one, but these are the things that are on your wheel of life: your health, your faith, your family, your finances, and your freedom. Your freedom. Guys, listen. On the wheel of life, trying to be balanced, having all these multiple businesses, what I had to learn along the way, having all of the businesses that I started initially, I'm going to tell you the truth. I was working in desperation, meaning working for $1, working to try to, if this business doesn't work or if it's not yielding what I wanted to yield, because every business that you do, if you put your heart and soul into it, it's going to work. But I'm working in desperation because I've got to I need more. I have to have more. And this looked great. And this looked great. And this looked great. And you try to do all of them. But what I have learned, honestly, this is recently after being 25 years of an entrepreneur, you got to be a bit more single-minded and focused. Here's why I can help brand new entrepreneurs start, grow, and fund their business, because I've done it multiple times. But everything comes together. If you look at the one common denominator in any business that I've done, it always has been funding, finance related. Always has been funding and finance related, because there's a niche that I'm in that at the end of the day, is financing, funding, and then the last part is people. I'm always providing the service to people. And so being balanced to me, honestly, Dr. Veirdre, it's not a real thing that I've
Mhm.
ever accomplished. But now this is where self-care, right? If we get into that conversation, will start to come in. When you're not feeling balanced, what do you do? When you're feeling uncomfortable, how do you get yourself back on your bike? I think that's part of all the businesses being able to do them. And they're not single-handedly for years. I'm talking years and years and years. They were single-handedly. But the best success I've had is with a team, with administrative help, with if I had to hire my niece only part-time spare time, if I had to bribe my kids into helping. But finally now with the world of automation, having a VA and having assistants and other people to do what you do, it makes such a better existence for you to become as close to balance as possible. But when are we living in a perfect life, right? That everything is working in unison all at the same time.
Very seldom. It's unrealistic and it is elusive. And I was hoping you were going to say that team word, like
Yeah.
recognizing how often do we desire to do something, but we won't release the fact that you can't do all of it,
Mm-mm.
and nor should you. Like, there
Mm-hmm.
are people who have an expertise in a particular area that would do it quicker, more
Yeah.
efficiently, and help you accelerate what you want to
Yeah.
get done. And you talked about a niche, recognizing with
Mm-hmm.
everything that is, you are a serialpreneur, but it's all connected to a consistent
Mm-hmm.
area. And so
Yes.
beginning to help those who desire to get started to actually stay focused
Mm-hmm.
and build from your place of passion and
That part.
expertise. I love
That's
it.
I love that you said passion because that's literally is on the tip of my tongue. You gotta love what you do. I love what I do. Let me tell you something. I could reach behind me, but if you look like right here behind me, I'm an author, right? And but I love being an author. Being an author is not my full-time business. Yes, I make money from being an author. Yes, I've created a whole company around being an author and a motivational speaker, but it's what I love to do. I'm an author when I'm finished I'll call it my day work, right? I'm an entrepreneur, but I have tasks and meetings and appointments and imagine the tasks that I have helping other entrepreneurs. In my spare time, part-time, right? I do
Mhm.
what I love. And so before maybe first thing in the morning, this week alone, Dr. Veirdre, I've literally written 5 ebooks this week alone. I'll wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I believe in having a notebook right next to me because that bright idea, guys, it comes in the middle of the night. It comes like a thief in the night. And I say a thief in the night because by the time you wake up, you mostly kind of don't remember it as it was. I keep a notebook next to me, but I'll wake up 4:30 in the morning and it's my idle time. My grandmother will say that idle time is the devil's workshop, right?
Mm.
And so I try not to let my idle time get away from me. If I wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I can't find my way back to sleep, I get on my phone and I write a book, literally
Mhm.
write an ebook or think of another idea. Maybe I have a candle business. I don't even really talk about it, but I literally ship candles around the world. Successful business. But these are things that I love to do. It's almost like I use my hobbies to make income from, but I
Yeah.
love doing it. So it's my way almost of finding balance in the stress of the day, in the hard work, and finding the things that I love that just happen to work out for me. Airbnb, I call it air free and free. Airbnb free. I live for free in Airbnb. And the way that I do it is I have homes and I make one space in the house. Like, for instance, this office is one space in the Airbnb that I have. The rest of the house is ready for other people when it's time to rent it out. And I'll excuse myself. If it gets on the list, ding, 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 you've got a booking, I'll leave the booking. I got another house to go to. And I'll just lock up securely my space. And those people can come and enjoy the rest of the beautiful space. And I'll come back if I choose to when I want to. But this is a way that I created a business for myself, being able to make that passive income. I don't do anything but clean up and be done. But I get to live for free. For the last 5 years, I haven't paid a mortgage or a rent because of Airbnb, something I just love to do in my part-time, my spare time.
And you also just on your birthday released an ebook for that as
Yes.
well. How can people get
Mhm.
access to the ebook and get their questions, at least the beginning part of those questions, answered?
Once again, the same website, bossupyourbag.com. this is the great part. When you go to bossupyourbag.com, it's going to ask you, I got something for you. We're going to trade together today. So when you go there, it's going to ask you for a little bit of information, and then it's going to give you access to the ebooks. And I believe on there, there's a Fix Your Credit ebook. There is the grant workbook. You want to learn how to get funding for free and not pay it back. You can get the grant ebook. And then there's also the Airbnb free ebook, How to Live for Free on Airbnb. All of those are available all from going to the website. And even you can have an opportunity to take our masterclass for free.
I love all of it.
Mhm,
I love all of it.
mhm.
But I want us to also be honest with people because you are polished, you are fabulous. I have been so
This
excited
part.
that we were going to have this conversation. But has it always been this bright, my sister?
Listen,
You
so
mentioned
I
20
would laugh
plus
at the
years.
girls. I had, let me tell you something. The funniest part is I had a Zoom earlier today for we're another business. Guys, hear me out. I'm not starting this business. It's my blueberry is my husband. It's his idea, not mine. I am focused, I promise. However, an opportunity has presented itself. And so we were on a Zoom about it. And so you asked him, I always this polished. I promise you, this was literally the last hour and a half ago conversation. And on the Zoom, I'm working and hustling. I might have just gargled, washed my mouth out and wiped my face off and jumped on the video. And I say, I have to go and get dressed for my interview with Dr. Veirdre. He says, well, why weren't you dressed up on our Zoom? And so it hasn't always been this way. I want you to know that if you a success is all about the obstacles that you can overcome. Nothing is worth right. Nothing is worth it if you haven't gone through it. If my father used to tell me that if somebody gives you something, then you're not going to keep it if you earned it. And I'm not talking about, and you got to have skin in the game. So I'm not talking about you got to break your back to do it because we want to work smart, not hard. Guys, after 25 years of being an entrepreneur, I promise you there's some hard work that has gone into this, some elbow scraping, some burns on my arms, like whatever it is that had to happen. But I began to learn to work smart. And that's what automation is all about. Life happens. Like to transport the conversation to what do you do when life happens? Because life is happening every single day. So I would honestly like if there's the viewers, talk to us about when life happens. What do you do? How do you maintain? How do you stay in business when you don't want to go? Being self-employed or being an entrepreneur, nobody's giving you the money for your bills. No one's giving you money for your family, for your vacation. You've got to get out there, roll up your sleeves, and drag yourself into it. There's ugly days where you don't want to go to work. There are months, and this is real entrepreneur talk. There are months and weeks where you're not making a single dollar. When I first started out as an entrepreneur getting advice, the best advice I got was expect to need to rely on someone to help you if you're leaving it all, because I don't believe in the notion of an entrepreneur that has a full-time job, quitting everything to start from scratch. You want to work your way into that because there's going to be some dark days of no money, right? If I take you 25 years into entrepreneurship, I can remember some days with no food on the table. I can remember some days with no electric, but we have water, no water, but we have electric. But that hustle of entrepreneur, could I stop and go get a job? Absolutely. But it's if I shared in the beginning that working a job was literally killing me. It was killing me in a way that you can't get back.
Mm-hmm.
With a broken spirit, it is very difficult to get back. So many people are alive, but they're not living
Mm-hmm.
their life. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what not being an entrepreneur was doing to me. What saved me from the darkest days of my life was being entrepreneur, that freedom, that resilience, that hard work, that the overcoming of all of my challenges because I had to pour in and dig deep in to being an entrepreneur. So Dr. Veirdre, it's not pretty. It's
Yeah.
not there is not always a beautiful picture, but we
Right.
work towards the beauty. That's the part that keeps us going.
Yes, and we learn from those who are farther along the path than we are, who have already
Mm-hmm.
made the mistakes so that we can cross the field, not make the same mistakes, learn from them, and stay
Mm-hmm.
committed. Like you can't do it halfway. Actually
Not at all.
make the decision, lean
Mm-hmm.
in, get committed, and recognize that it is going to be hard. So Pamela
Mm-hmm.
asked, my question is, you mentioned 80% of all my requirements are done, including business, license, location, LLC, etc. But I believe that the other 20% is what is keeping me from growth and growing. What would you say is missing?
A one-on-one strategy session with me. I
Yes,
would say
indeed.
so. To honestly answer that question, I would really have to look at what exactly you have going on. And I love the fact that you know that it's that small piece that's missing. There's only 1 degree difference than hot water and steam.
Mm-hmm.
1 degree difference. And that one thing can change. Think of it this way. For the longest time, I have been working for every dollar because that's sometimes what entrepreneurs do. They trade time for dollars. You don't have free time, no time to do the things that you want to do. Vacation, what is that? I haven't been on vacation in many, many years. But it wasn't until I tweaked it just a little bit, found that one thing missing. Coaching has changed. My business, can I take them to a space in my life?
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. So today I have my makeup, right? I got it. Y'all, you guys would say that I got it going on just a little bit. Shout out to me for getting dressed. This is about self-confidence, right? Confidence is when you can put something on, put your wig on, put your lashes on, make yourself feel, a little beautiful. Self-worth is a different kind of thing. And I'm only sharing this because I don't know the 20% that's missing. But one of the things that I do know is that the biggest thing that's missing from most entrepreneurs is in their mind, right? Because with 20%, let me tell you, with $20 and a cell phone, and I have a cell phone right here, with $20 and a cell phone, I've made $1 million. Not once, but more than a few times. $20 and a cell phone. And so that 20% that you feel like is missing, again, without seeing what you have, it might just be some personal development. It might just be a strategy session of looking at it in a different way. It might just be taking the 80% and going. Why wait? Because it's not a perfect picture. If I tell you $20 on a cell phone, you can make $1 million, you really can do it, right? With some hard work and the right strategy. 7 years ago, guys, I've been home for 7. I found myself in the darkest of places. And this is why I share. I share because entrepreneurship is not pretty, but honesty is everything that you have. When you look at yourself and see what's missing, the rest will come together when you're willing to do the work for it. And the hardest part of being an entrepreneur, staying an entrepreneur, because we all will get to a certain level and life is going to come for you. And when life came for me, I found myself in federal prison for 4 years, right? I've been home now for 7 years. When life came for me, even through being an entrepreneur, even through all the multiple businesses that I had, I still, for 20 years, struggled in domestic violence relationships. And I didn't know how to mentally see myself out. So I talked about self-confidence. That confidence is what you look like. You can put it on, you can get yourself together, and you can go on out and get your day done. But when the weight of the world is on you at night, you know what's really going on in your life, right? And so when the weight of the world would hit me and I realized that my happy day that I was putting that facade on was about to be upon me, I had to face that. These are those sleepless nights, those tears of surrender, that one tear that falls down your face when enough is enough. And you're asking yourself, why do I do what I do and think it's okay? Or how can I get to the next level? Or what do I need to do to make the life that I want to have? This is the part where life happens to you and it's not going to let you go. We can only get to the different parts of our life, to the highest level or highest actualization of our life by facing who we are. And so I had that terrible face of domestic violence, that terrible face of being in prison when that happened to me. And it is now 7 years later that I'm here. But guess what they say? 7 is that number of completion, that number of restoration in my life, in my life, that number of doing things a little bit differently for yourself to have what you want. So what is the 20% that you're missing? That is a strategy call for us to talk about to take you to the next level. But what I'm going to tell you is face life and start with what you have, because the 80% is more than enough.
Start with what you have and recognize that life is going to keep lifing, but how will you respond? And when you look in the mirror, get honest about what is going on in you and around you, that you've been settling for. And so I like some like really concrete maybe nuggets. And so I'm going to throw out there a question around if an entrepreneur, a woman decides she wants to become financially independent,
Mhm.
where should she actually start in order to begin that journey of financial independence?
I would start with a professional. So financial independence, number one, is a mindset,
Mm-hmm.
and it also is discipline, and then it's professional because you can be well off, but to be financially independent, you really will want to. And I am not a financial planner; I am a tax professional.
Mm-hmm.
But you really want to, first of all, identify what is financial independence to you. What does that mean? What exactly does that mean to you? What does it look like? You've got to know. So I would start by seeking professional, and you could do this by TD Ameritrade, and I don't have to put any names out there. You can ask for some referrals. Listen, guys, Google is your friend and Facebook is your friend. Anyone know a financial planner out there? And your phone, and you're gonna have a more warm of a reception, a more warm lead to that person that you want to work with. But you've got to know what that financial independence look like. Because what is independent for you may not be independent for me. What is independent for you might be more time with your children. It might be just being able to cover your bills, where another person might say, I need 5 years of my bills. I need to leave a legacy for my children's children. So the financial independence is going to be that professional seeking that advice, and then finding out exactly the roadmap and how it looks for you. That's I would suggest.
Mm-hmm. Start the asking yourself some of those questions, and can you ask them again? So someone who is trying to wrap their mind around the fact that you said financial freedom means different things for different people. How could I begin
Mm-hmm.
to actually self-assess what my number is for
Mm-hmm.
financial freedom?
So what I've done for myself is I dream, I'm a dreamer. I think about, I close my eyes, right? This is really how I've done it. I visualize everything. I have a favorite scripture. My favorite scripture is, and I don't ask me the number of the scripture because I don't recall, but I know the word. And it says that eyes have not seen, nor have ears heard, nor has it entered into the hearts of man what God will do for those who love him. And so what I do is I think about the dreams that I have, the people that I want to serve, the what my life looks like. For me, all my Airbnbs are on the water. I want to live on the water. I want to ride on my boat. I want to get on the jet skis. I want to sit on the porch. I want to be with my family, right? I think about if money was no object, what would I do? And this is a great way to find out what your number is, because you're going to be able to calculate this. So if money was no object, how are you living? Where do you travel? Where do you vacation? What does your home look like? What kind of car do you drive? If health became an issue, what kind of care will you have? Will you have the best care that money can buy? Will you fly out of the country for the best of the best? Or will you take whatever your local hospital is offering? But what does the picture of the most audacious thing you can think of look like? And again, I am speaking from the way that I create financial independence for myself, and not from a professional planner look of the numbers and the projections, but I'm talking about getting that number in my head. When I think of the most outlandish something that I would want, because everybody wants a little something material, but at the end of life, we all just want a hand to hold. So what does it look like when I'm getting my flowers today with my family, when we're gathering, when we're doing all the things that we want to do? If I think about the quality of life and maybe even lifespan of how much longer we will possibly live without God calling us prematurely, how much am I going to spend? And that gives me the ridiculous number of $20 million, right? So that might be financial freedom to me. But once I have that number, I go back to my scripture. And my scripture said, ears have not, nor has it entered into the hearts of man what God will do for those who love him. And when I know what I see, and I can't fathom what God will do, well, that number is absolutely ridiculous, right? And that is why I put things in place the way I do and structure the way that I do, because I know the dream that I have, but I also know the plans that God has for me to prosper you and not to harm you. And don't make me run around this office, Dr. Veirdre.
I feel
But
you
this is
getting
how
warmed up, girl.
I create that financial freedom. Don't make me do it. That's my way. That's my way. I am a consummate dream builder, and I believe it. Even in my darkest days, you want to know what kept me going? On the days where just I cannot stand another day of this, it was the dream that I had that kept me going. It's the dreams that I have for my family, for you guys, to boss up your bag, to work with entrepreneurs. A lot of the work that I do, I could probably charge thousands and thousands of dollars for it. But the bulk of the work these days, 25 years later, Dr. Veirdre, is primarily no fee. I'm talking my YouTube, my sometimes my consultations, the free classes. The work that I do is to give back for entrepreneurs to be able to do what I just did. If you can do what I just did, because a lot of people can't imagine their beautiful life. If you can't imagine your beautiful life, how do you know what financial freedom is? And again, that's just what I believe. But how do you know if you don't see it? You've got to see it and live through it, live to it to get there.
Yeah, yeah. And I've actually heard that exact approach more than once. And I did it for myself, and I didn't dream extravagant. Because I'm very much a realist, but I love to dream. But I actually sat with the number of what would it look like for me to freely live, for me not to feel stressed, for me to drive the car that I desire, for me to live in the house that I would like to live in, for me to be able to vacation however many times a year that I wanted to, for me to have the luxury and comfort of being able to eat out. I actually sat down, and because the person who gave me the advice, literally very similar, asked me to do the same thing. And I actually was shocked that the number was not as unrealistic as I thought. And therefore it gave me the push to, okay, this is not something that is literally unrealistic, like I will never get there. It is something that, as I continue to stay intentional, stay committed, stay driven, stay focused, stay prayerful, recognizing that exceedingly and abundantly above what we could ask or think, it was a shifting moment for me. And so I completely received that. But one of the big things that absolutely I love about what you shared earlier is understanding that you have not had to pay a mortgage. Like, people, just the mortgage by itself.
Yes,
Being able to air free and be is absolutely amazing. Can you give maybe two nuggets of insight if someone was interested in getting into real estate investment? What are some initial first steps that they need to consider?
First of all, I'm going to take you back, and I'm glad you asked that. I want to take you back to that website, bossupyourbag.com, because we talk about that. Everything that we do starts with finances, and we don't like to talk about money, right? But you have to talk about it. It's the air you breathe. It's the food you eat. It's the people you love. Without money, with money, your family, you could save a life. Without it, you have to make a decision, right? And so you're the money. But remember, I told you, when I say $20 and a cell phone, here's how I started Airbnb. I started Airbnb. We had a home in Pennsylvania, Landenberg, Pennsylvania, and I was watching YouTube. Guys, watch YouTube. Click right here. When they say click right here, if you're drawn to that TV, just as you're drawn to if you stay up late night, do you remember the guy to be like, the preacher in the middle of the night, right? If you're drawn to click right here. You never know who you're going to meet along the way. So I'm in my backyard watching YouTube, right? And we happen to have a beautiful backyard. It was literally like an oasis, part of the reason that we bought the home. And the young man, I didn't know him where I'm from, we say from a campaign. I didn't know him. And he shared, do you have a unique space? You want to be an Airbnb? Because at the time I wasn't. I had done furnished rentals in the past, but I didn't kind of equate it with Airbnb. I wasn't connecting the two. Do you have something unique that you can rent out? People buy anything, guys. Think about it. People buy anything. When he said that, do you have something unique? I was like 10 minutes into the YouTube, and I was like, I have a swimming pool. And I started my Airbnb business. This was in 2019 with renting out my swimming pool. That's all I had. I wasn't comfortable to open my home to strangers, but I can open my swimming pool. It was beautiful. It was different. And so during the day, I would charge $700 from 12 to 6 if you wanted to have a party. And from 7 to midnight, it was $1,000. From the day that I listed the house, the pool for rent, only the swimming pool for rent, I didn't have a break for 2 years straight because everybody wanted to be there. And so I share that story to say, I did not spend $1 to start my Airbnb business. I just cleaned my yard. I cleaned the yard, and later we started opening the base. We called it the parlor, but it was the basement. Like you go down the steps into the lower level of the house, so it was the parlor because nobody wants to be in the basement, right? And so we started to open up the parlor area. And then I just started to take that money. We had a condo at the riverfront, and I thought about the view, and it was so beautiful, especially at night. You could see the horizon of the city of Wilmington, and who wouldn't want to live on the water? And so it's all about description, right? And how you explain it. And if you can paint a story, this is all about sales. And so again, at the time, I got to pay the mortgage. I have to pay the mortgage on the house, the mortgage on the condo. We've got a tow truck business. I got to pay the rent. It's a lot of bills that we have to pay. But again, Airbnb became, if I wouldn't have made $1, remember, I loved it. I loved seeing the happy people, right? And I know that the Bible says service to many leads to greatness. And in everything that I've made the money that I pronounced I would make, because that's part of it. What's your goal? And everything that I said I would make, when I think that I hit my goal, it was because I was serving people. And for me, Airbnb is giving people the opportunity to live affordable luxury time without having to break their bank. So when they get to stay at our place, it's beautiful. The reviews are amazing and they absolutely love it. And so I probably gave you 42 nuggets, right? But start with what you have. Okay. And it's so much simpler, and be flexible. I think flexibility, because when you see that people are in your space, a lot of people are thinking about Airbnb like you got to have a place, you got to have your own place plus maintain that. I only use what I have. I at the time was not afforded the luxury of having multiple places, so I could stay. And if I had to inconvenience myself to go to my cousin's for the weekend, I just made $2,000. My cousin didn't mind me being there. Right?
And
so that flexibility and starting.
And I didn't actually even realize that until literally this past week. We're getting my running partner and I are getting ready to go to Atlanta, and so we wanted to stay in an Airbnb instead of hotel because the hotels were astronomical. And we found this Airbnb that was affordable, and it literally was a room in someone's house. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't want that. But that gave me a whole other concept that it's listed, it is clearly booked often, but it was a room that they had designated as their Airbnb option. And with people coming in and out of Atlanta, I was like, all right, reframe what I believe or think about an Airbnb.
I'm telling you, like if you just think about it, and guys, when you're traveling Airbnb, you have to make sure you click entire space. That's that
Yep.
magic that we forget that button sometimes, and you're going to get what you don't want. But I feel like it's the way that you think about anything, and just about making sure. And it sounds like, let me say this, it sounds like she does everything. How can she help me? This is what I do. I do all these businesses, but my passion, my work for serving people is bossupyourbag.com. I help entrepreneurs start, grow, and fund their business. One of the greatest ways to have me as a coach is because I'm going to show you how to not be all over the place, how to define that lane for yourself, because having a lane is where you truly want to be when you're creating your business. And so working with someone like me, or any other coach that's in your field, because I'm not the only coach out here. So there's other coaches that you can work with that are going to guide you to exactly where you need to be.
So, as and every single time, the time just goes by so quickly. I would like for you to help people understand, because we have a couple of questions around not only the masterclass, but how to actually get access to you as a one-on-one coach, or creating an opportunity for a discovery call. So as we close out our time together, can you help people understand how they can actually get access to you, and how they can follow you, stay connected, and watch you go all over the place, showing all these real estates and all these projects that you do? Let them
So you
know.
can reach me. Yeah. Listen, again, it's that same website, www.bossupyourbag.com. You just want to go there, share your information with me, and I'm going to share with you. There's a space there for you to schedule consultation, for you to give books, for you to continue to stay plugged in. I am on social media at Inga Nykole. That's INGANYKOLE. And I truly, I can't believe the time is going away from us either, because I don't want to leave you guys. But I do look forward to see you in the masterclass. And I do look forward to working with you and growing your business with you and helping you create, again, the life that you want to live. Like Dr. Veirdre, there's so much that I wanted to share, but those are the main two ways to be able to get in touch with me. And again, I look forward to seeing your name on a billboard, seeing your business, seeing your life the way that you intend to live it, the way that you design it. Nobody else can tell you who to be or how to live the way that you want to live. Only you can create that master bossed up life for yourself.
Well, there you have it. Oh, Esther asked, when is the masterclass?
Esther, we are actually loading the next one. So when you go to that website, it's going to tell you, it's going to direct you exactly where to go so you get in the waiting list.
Nice. Inga, thank you so much for all that you
you
have shared. You truly, I can feel your servant's heart in recognizing that you continue to elevate by supporting and elevating others. So I thank you again, my sister, for being a part of the flip side of adversity. Okay. When you're feeling stuck, we hope to provide you with the information on how to move from a place in which you are stuck to a place where you are thriving, you are living strong. Even if you've experienced adversity, that is not your destiny. There is still more for you on the other side. So stay connected with us. Same time, same place, right here on the flip side. I will see you next week. Trauma, toxic stress, broken habits, and hurting heart don't define destiny, but peace isn't passive. It requires an exchange. To create a flip and access peace in the middle of the pieces, you are challenged to make an exchange of the lies that have kept you mentally hostage in basement moments. Resilience isn't about bouncing back, but bouncing forward. Living Strong, the flip side of adversity, brings powerful stories and fearless conversations from experts in the field of business, relationships.